Today I am going to solve activity 7.19. In question number 1, it is said that identify the changes you would need to make to the algorithm in example number 2 to reduce the number of students to 5 and the number of subjects to 2. Identify the test data needed to test example 2 with the reduced number of students and subjects. For this question, we need to understand the pseudocode given in example number 2. First of all, let's read the question that is being asked from you. A school with 600 students wants to produce some information from the results of the four standards tests: Math, Science, English, and IT. Each test is out of 100 marks, and the information output should be the highest lowest average marks for each test and the highest lowest average mark overall. All the marks need to be input. Use the pseudocode to write the algorithm to complete this task. Explain how would you test your algorithm. So now let's start understanding the algorithm. First of all, the initialization of overall counters. There are three variables declared in the beginning: overall highest, overall lowest, and overall total. And they have been given a starting value of 0, 100, and 0. Let's start solving it. Uh, let's start making a mind map of this algorithm. So the first variable will be overall highest, and it will be given a starting value of 0. Next comes the next variable, overall lowest, and it will be given a starting value of 100. The third variable will be overall total, and it will be given a starting value of 0. Now, a for loop has started. Because the number of subjects is 4, the for loop is starting from 1 and it is going till 4. And as the subjects are 4, another variable named test will be given a value from 1 till 4, and every time its value will increase. For the outer loop, every time when the value of test will increase, the subject will change. So this is the outer for loop. Now initialization of subject counters. Inside the for loop, there are three more variables: subject highest, subject lowest, and subject total. So, subject highest is given a starting value of 0, subject lowest is given a highest value of 100, and subject total is given a highest value of 0. Case of is used to select one of given number of options. So there are 4 options for the teacher. He can give the option of maths, which will be stored in the variable name subject name. He can give the option of science. He can give the option of English, and he can give the option of IT. If the teacher wants to give any specific number, if he will give the number 1, maths will be selected. If he will enter number 2, science will be selected. If he will give number 3, option number 3, English will be selected, which will be stored in the variable named subject name. And if the user gives the value of 4, IT will be stored in the variable named subject name. So the subject name depends upon the value given by the user. So this part of the code indicates the choice given by the user. Now another for loop has started. It will start from student number 1, and it will give the option to the user to enter the marks of all 600 students, and the student number will be saved inside the variable named student number. Now a for loop has started. The for loop will start from student number 1 and it will repeat 600 times until marks of all 600 students will be entered. And what this for loop is doing, it is giving one same message for every student. Enter students marks for the subject. So the teacher is allowed to enter the marks of the first student through this uh, uh, for loop. The first value of this for loop is 1. It will go till 600. The marks will be input in another variable named mark. If the marks will be less than 0, then the user will not be able to then user will be given an error message on screen. But if the marks will be within the range of 0 to 100, then four things will be checked. The first thing to be checked is this: if the marks are less than overall lowest, then marks will be assigned to overall lowest. Suppose the teacher has entered for student 1. The teacher has entered the subject maths and the first marks are 75. So these first 75 marks, if they will be lesser than overall lowest, then in lowest marks, these 70, this 100 will be erased, and in place of this 100, the new marks of 75 will be entered in overall lowest. In a second check, it is being tested if the marks are less than subject lowest, then the subject lowest marks will be assigned to subject lowest. Now you can see it over here. The subject lowest is also 100. So these marks are also lesser than subject lowest. So these marks will also be assigned to subject lowest, which is 75. Now there is a third check. If the marks are greater than overall highest, then marks will be assigned to overall highest also. So as you can see it over here, these marks are greater than 0. So old 0 will be deleted and these marks of 75 will also be assigned to the overall highest. As you can see that the first marks are being assigned to every variable. From the second marks, a change will start to occur. Now, the fourth check is this: if the marks are greater than subject highest, then marks will be assigned to subject highest. Now, let's see what is the subject highest. This is subject highest, and these marks are again greater than subject highest. The old 0 will be removed, and the same 75 marks will be assigned to subject highest also. Now, after checking all four conditions, the overall these marks will be added to overall total also to get an overall total. This is overall total. So these marks will be added to overall total also. Then these marks will be added to subject total also. Subject total, this will also be deleted, and these 75 marks will be added to subject total also. As you know, the student's name is student number 1, and we suppose according to our trace table that the teacher has selected maths first of all. Now this for loop has ended starting from 1, starting from here for and ending over here. And in this way, the teacher will enter the marks of all the students, all the 600 students. Now, in this question, you have been asked to change the students, number of students to only, now he has asked you to change the number of students to 5 only and the number of subjects to 2 only. So you can see it over here that the number 2 subjects will be deleted from here and the number of students will be changed from 600 to 5 only. The loop will be only for 5 students. Data of all the 5 students will be entered for all the subjects. Now I have started making this trace table also because you have been asked to make this trace table. This he has asked you to make a in question 2 he has asked to make a trace table also using. So first of all the marks of all the 600 students of first test will be added. Then all the marks of the first student of the second subject will be added. In our case, because we have been asked to change the number of students from 600, we have been asked to change the number of students from 600 to only 5 and the number of subjects from 4 to only 2. We will delete last 2 subjects also and we will change over here. We will change 600 from here to 5 only. As you can see it over here in our example, in the question that change the number of students to number 5 and change the number of subjects to 2 and use your own set of data to make a trace table. So I have started making a trace table also over here for student 1. The all the subject for maths are the marks of maths are, I have assumed these as the marks of maths and these are science the marks for science. Then for student 2 the marks will be 55 and 65. For 3 these marks, for 4 68, 92, and for 5th student the marks will be 82 and 60. First of all the marks for maths will be entered uh, and they because for only specific this subject the decision is to be made. The decision of subject highest can be made. So for first student, after entering 75, the teacher will enter 55. 55 will be written over here in place of 75 for this new subject. Again, for this second student, again all 4 decisions will be made using this same for loop. This is the for loop which is being followed. This is the for loop. All same 4 decisions will be taken. If marks are less than overall lowest, then marks will be assigned to overall lowest. Now let's see. You can see that these marks are less than overall lowest. So this previous overall lowest will be deleted and new marks of 55 will be assigned to it. If marks are less than subject lowest, then marks will be assigned to subject lowest. So this is the subject lowest and marks are less than subject lowest. So older subject lowest will be deleted and these new marks will be assigned to this subject lowest. Now comes the third check. If marks are greater than overall highest, then marks will be assigned to overall highest. So if marks are greater than overall highest, but they are less than overall highest, they will not be assigned to overall highest. So this check will fail. Then the fourth check, if marks are greater than subject highest, then the marks will be assigned to subject highest. Now let's see if the marks are greater than subject. No, they are not greater than subject highest, so they will not be assigned to. So they will not be assigned to the subject highest. After coming out of these, after checking these four conditions, the new marks will be added to overall total. So these new marks of 55 will be added to overall total of 75. 75 plus 25, 55 makes a total of 130. So this previous 75 will be deleted and the mark will be added to subject total as well. So this new mark for second student, for student number 2, will be added to subject total as well. So the new subject total will be 130. Over here we will delete the old subject total and the new subject total will be 130 over here, and the student number is student number 2. Now the marks of third student will also be added in the same way, and then the fourth student will be also added the same way, and then the fifth student will be also be added in the same way. As you can see it from here that the marks of all 5 students have been entered, but all new marks were added over here in subject total. The only the highest marks, in this case the highest marks were 90. So only the highest marks were entered over here. In this case the lowest marks were 55. So when after 55 no other lowest marks were there, so 55 was the value which was saved inside this variable name subject lowest. For overall total, for now the overall total is same because we have not entered the marks of science. This is the subject total, but for overall total, so far we have not entered the marks of science. So the overall total are also same. Overall highest are same because so far we have not entered the marks of science, and overall lowest is also the same of like as subject total because so far we have not entered the marks of science. When the marks of science will be entered, they will, because subject is different, so subject total will not save these new marks in the previous marks because they will start from 85, then 65 will be added, then new 78 will be added, then new 92 will be added, and then 60 will be added. For highest, first of all decision will be made about first marks, that is 85. They were the highest. Then 65, then 85 was the highest because 65 is is a smaller value. Then over here in the fourth row, 92 became highest because 92 over here, because 92 was a larger value over here, and then 92 remained highest. So for this was for only subject of science. A separate decision had to be made for science. Then for subject lowest, again all the values for science were being compared. As you can see that first of all 85 was lowest, 65 was, then 65 became the lowest value, 78 is greater, 92 is greater, and 60 is now the lowest value, which is mentioned over here in the subject lowest. For overall total now becomes the variable which is totaling not only science but maths also. So in the previous 370, this is the previous 370, this is the previous 370, the new value of 85 will be added, 85 will be added to make 455, the new value of 65 will be added to make 520, then this new value of 78 will be added for overall total. In addition to maths, science is also added for overall highest. All the highest of all marks is uh, being considered over here. After this 90, the highest of these values also checked, and because 92 is the highest in overall highest, 92 is also is now the latest highest. For overall latest over here, till here only maths was being considered, but now for science the decision is being continued for science as well. And we are checking for a value lesser than 55. So over here have not got any value lesser than 55. So for from all marks 55 is the lowest value. So a final table has been created. Now he has, but after making all the decisions and saving all the values, getting a subject average. It means separately for maths and separately for science. A subject average will be taken. As you can see it over here, for science, the total is divided by 5. This was the total for science. I have made a separate trace table, although it's better to combine both tables to make only one table. This is the subject total for maths 370, the final subject total for maths, which will be divided by 5. When you divide 370 by 5, the answer will be 74. So over here I have in a separate table I have written 74 as the average for subject average. Then comes the next part of the program, output subject name. So that will be displayed. The average marks of all 5 students will be displayed. Only subject highest of maths will be displayed, and the subject lowest of maths will be displayed from here, highest and lowest. These are only calculated based on this maths part of the code. This is the maths part of the code, and the final values are written in the last row. So subject total, subject highest, subject lowest, uh, for subject only, not for overall. And these are written over here. Let me minimize the page. As you can see, this 90, this 55, and I have just calculated the average over here. Now comes the next part of the code. After calculating the average for maths separately and calculating the average for science separately, over here the for loop has changed for the next test. Before, for the same for loop will now work out the values for science. As you can see it over here, it will work out separately for science, and it will calculate the final values of subject. This is the for average, highest, lowest. For average, it will divide 380 by 5. This is the highest value, this is the lowest values, and I have written all these values in this separate table. Now comes the last part of the code to calculate the overall average. And we will divide overall total by 10 only to get overall average, because the overall marks will not be divided by 2400, they will be divided by 10. So as you can see it over here in our example, this is the was the overall total 750. 750 was the overall total. It will be divided by 10. There were 10 values, and the answer will be 75 for overall total. This is the overall total average. This is the overall highest, because all the highest marks of maths and science, from out of maths and science, 92 is highest. I have written this value in a separate table, although it should be combined in one table in a separate row beneath. And this is the overall lowest, which is written over here as overall. Now, after calculating overall average, overall highest, overall lowest, he has asked he had asked you to make a trace table. I have explained the trace table to you also, and I have explained this and written it over here, that how we have calculated the overall total. So this was activity 7.19, and I hope you understood the concept well. Please like this video and leave a comment if you understood the concept well. Thank you.